Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to Glass Family Field at Myers Stadium on the beautiful campus of Northwestern Oklahoma State University. Today's games will feature the Cougars of Colorado Christian University out of Lakewood, Colorado in the Denver metro area and your Northwestern Rangers. It is a perfect day for baseball. Temperature at first pitch should be around 59 degrees. Sunny skies for our two games today. My name is Chris Ruwalt. It is my pleasure to be filling in for the legendary voice of the Rangers, my good friend Dustin Goodnow. Rangers come into this game having won their season opener yesterday in walk-off fashion. Colby Grace was the hero with a double in the bottom of the ninth, scoring Trevor Sayre in the 3-2 win. Ranger hitters yesterday banged out 7 hits, led by Dylan Bradford, Carson Wright, and Trevor Sayre. Each had 2 hits, and a pretty nice day for the Ranger pitchers as well. Starter Jacob Fuller went 4 2/3 innings. He gave up 1 earned run. He struck out 5. Dawson Toborg out of the bullpen pitched 4 innings, gave up 1 earned run and struck out 2. And Elias Herrera pitched a third of an inning, didn't give up a run, and was the winning pitcher. For the Cougars, this is their opening series of the year. Yesterday, they were led offensively by Mason Hagel-Pitt, who went 2 for 4, including a home run. And on the mound for the Rangers will be 6'8" transfer sophomore from Butler Community College out of Sharon, Oklahoma, Caden Spray. Facing Caden Spray today for the Cougars will be center fielder Lucas Heinze, left fielder Gregory Rangel, second baseman Mason Hagel-Pitt, first baseman Major Maiden. Aiden Walsh will be the designated hitter. Catcher will be Nathan Owens. Right fielder will be Zach Valentine. He will be followed up and rounded up in the lineup by shortstop Gavin Acosta and third baseman Connor Lang. Rangers will counter with Dylan Bradford, Carson Wright, Hagen Barcelo, Paul Sachin, Chad Green, Trevor Sayre, Harley Schaefer, Colby Grace, and rounding up the lineup for the Rangers will be catcher Chase Gordon. So leading off for the Cougars, center fielder Lucas Heinze. Yesterday, for the Cougars, Heinze was 1 for 4, struck out, and the first pitch from Caden Spray down for a ball, and the count is 1-0. So 1-0 the count to the Cougar leadoff hitter. Here's the pitch, and that one's going to be a little low and outside for a ball, and the count moves to 2-0. 2-0 the count. To Heinze, a junior out of Chandler, Arizona. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be outside for a ball. The count moves to 3-0. Caden Spray, last year pitching for Butler Community College out of Kansas, struggled with his control at times a bit. Here's the pitch, and the 3-0 pitch is taken for a strike, and that'll move the count to 3-1. 3-1 the count. Top of the first, no score. Nobody on. And here's the 3-1 pitch, and that ball is going to be lined to center field. Trevor Sayre is going to watch it fall in front of him, and the Cougars have their first hit of the ball game. So that'll bring Gregory Rangel to the plate. Rangel playing left field for Coach Liberty and the Cougars. Rangel yesterday went 0 for 4. He did strike out 1 time. Spray checks the runner at first. Here's the first pitch to Gregory Rangel. That's going to be outside for a ball. And the count is 1-0. 1-0 the count. Check the runner at first. Here's the pitch. And that's over for a strike. The count moves to 1-1. Rangers will play 2 today. First game will go 9 innings. Second game will go 7. 1-1 the count. Runner on first following the leadoff single by Lucas Heinze. And here's the 1-1 note. We're going to fire to first. Heinze back safely. Won the count to the Cougars left fielder. Here's the pitch, and that ball is going to be lined into left field. Carson Wright right there to make the catch. And there's your first out of the inning. Carson Wright, one of these returning starters for the Rangers. Got a good read on that. Wind blowing rather stiffly today out of the south, so it'll be very important to read the ball well if you're playing in the outfield today. That'll bring to the plate Mason Hagel Pitt, who went 2 for 4 yesterday with a home run. And here's the first pitch to Pitt, and that's going to be called a ball. The count is 1-0. Of course, on a day like today, it's going to be very important for pitchers to keep their pitches down. Fire over to first. Back safely is Heinze. So 1-0 the count. Spray gets the sign from Chase Gordon, who gets to start at catcher today. That ball is going to be fouled off, and the count moves to 1-1. Spray with a fastball, mid-80s to start out here the game. 1-1 the count. Fire over to first. Heinze back safely. Spray being very diligent to make sure that Heinze doesn't get an extra step off the bag over there at first. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That's going to be fouled off. The count moves to 1-2. Major Maiden on deck for the Cougars. So 1-2 the count. Runner on first. No score here in the top of the first. And now they've got Heinze in a rundown. Fire over to second, and he is out. Nice job there by Dylan Bradford. And there's your second out of the inning. So that's 2 outs. And it looks like we're going to have a conference by the umpires. Make sure everything's on the up and up. Gregory Rangel for the Cougars is a freshman out of Santa Clarita, California. Outside of sports, enjoys going to the beach and hanging out with his buddies. Dreams of owning a gym when he finishes college. Well, the umpires checking to make sure that they got the call right. If they didn't, the Cougars will have a runner on second with 1 out. Mason Hagel Pitt, a junior out of Arvada, Colorado. Loves playing video games, wants to be a police officer when he finishes college. And after checking the review, the umpires decide they got the call right. And Lucas Heinze will be out at second base. So back to the game. The count is 1-2. There are now 2 outs. Top of the first, Caden Spray trying to work out of that leadoff single he gave up. Facing Mason Hagel Pitt. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed for strike 3. So not the conventional 1-2-3, but it works nevertheless. Cougars get nothing. We go to the bottom of the first. Our game is tied 0-0. So on to the bottom of the first we go. It'll be Dylan Bradford, Carson Wright, and Hagen Barcelo set to face Cougar starter Saxton Sorensen. Dylan Bradford leading off today for the Rangers, as he will, I suspect, in most games this year. Last year, Dylan Bradford hit .380 with 3 home runs and 28 RBIs. He was an all-GAC first-team selection and an all-Central Region first-team selection. Yesterday, Dylan had 2 hits, scored a run. And the first pitch from Sorensen is taken low for a ball. Bradford last year leading the Rangers in runs scored, doubles with 16, triples with 3, and in stolen bases, where he stole 13 out of 14 attempts. That ball is going to be fouled off. The count's going to move to 1-1. Yesterday, he started off the game with a leadoff double. Dylan Bradford, kind of an untraditional first baseman, but it has certainly worked for the Rangers. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be inside for a ball. The count moves to 2-1. Last year, Dylan was actually second on the team in walks, had an on-base percentage of .491. Here's the pitch. That ball is going to be hit sharply to first. Major Maiden with it, steps on the bag, and there is the first out of the inning for the Rangers. So 3 unassisted there on the putout, and that'll bring to the plate left fielder Carson Wright. Carson Wright yesterday, he went 2 for 4 also. Picked up an RBI early back in the 3rd inning that got the Rangers off to a 1-0 start. Carson Wright also had a sensational season last year. Here's the first pitch to Wright, and that's over for a strike, and the count is 0-1. Carson Wright last year hit .389 with an on-base percentage of .491 and a slugging percentage of .676. He'll be looking to build off that season. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be fouled off, and the count moves to 0-2. Wright last year had 12 home runs, 43 RBIs. and was an all-GAC first-team selection along with Dylan Bradford, and also along with Dylan Bradford was named to the All-Central Region first team. Here he's behind in the count 0-2. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be outside and low for a ball. The count moves to 1-2. Dylan Bradford, I mentioned, was second on the team in walks, and he was second behind Carson Wright, who walked 33 times. Carson Wright leading the team last year in batting average and in hits. Tied for first on home runs. Here he swings and misses, and there's the second out of the inning for the Rangers. So that'll bring Hagen Barcelo to the plate. Barcelo playing second base today for the Rangers. He went 0 for 3 yesterday, but did manage to pick up an RBI in the Rangers win. Barcelo last year hit .313 with an on-base percentage of .350 and a slugging percentage of .578. He's first pitch swinging. That's going to be fouled off, and the count is 0-1. Barcelo last year, one of the team leaders in home runs with 12, and he was named to the All-GAC second team. One of several Rangers who came away with postseason honors last year. That ball is going to be fouled off, and the count moves to 0-2. So 0-2 the count. 2 outs in the bottom of the first. Cougars and the Rangers tied 0-0 here in the first game of a doubleheader. Paul Sachin in the on-deck circle for the Rangers should Barcelo extend the inning. The 0-2 pitch, appeal down to first, and he says no, in fact, he did not swing, and the count moves to 1-2. So 1-2 the count. Barcelo trying to get things started for the Rangers here in the bottom of the first. Sorensen gets the sign, and here's the 1-2 pitch, and that's going to be hit sharply again to the first baseman, Major Maiden. Picks it up, flips to the pitcher, and there's the third out of the inning. So 3 up, 3 down for the Rangers. We go to the second. Our score is tied 0-0. Major Maiden will lead things off for the Cougars here in the second. Maiden, a 6'1" senior out of Leander, Texas. Leander down there north of the Austin city limits, down in the Texas Hill Country. First pitch to Maiden is check swing. They're going to peel down to third base, and they're going to say, in fact, he did not go around, so it's ball 1. Maiden, a career .329 hitter for the Cougars, 9 home runs, 49 RBIs in his career. The 1-0 pitch, is taken for a strike, and the count moves to 1-1. 1-1 the count, top of the second, nobody out. Game is tied 0-0. Here's the 1-1 pitch, and that ball's going to be hit sharply to Dylan Bradford at first. He'll pick it up, step on the bag, and there's 1 down. So that'll bring to the plate Aiden Welsh. Aiden Welsh today is the designated hitter. 6'1" junior out of Lake Charles, Louisiana. Down in the southwest corner of Louisiana. Just across the border from the Beaumont-Port Arthur area of Texas. The first pitch to Aiden Welsh is taken for a ball, and the count is 1-0. Aiden Welsh, outside of sports, enjoys fishing. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be fouled off. And the count moves to 1-1. A lot of fishing down there in southern part of Louisiana. After playing baseball, he wants to find happiness. 1-1 the count. Here's the pitch, and that ball's going to be lifted into shallow right field, and Paul Sachin is going to watch that land in front of him. And the Cougars have their second hit of the ball game. So that'll bring to the plate catcher Nathan Owens. Owens is a 5'10" junior from the Woodlands, Texas, down there around Houston. And he'll be the next to face the 6'8" left-hander Caden Spray. Here's the first pitch to Owens, and that's over for a strike. The count is 0-1. 0-1 the count. One out here in the top of the second. Aiden Welsh on first following his single. Here's the pitch, and that's over for a strike. Count moves to 0-2. Spray gets the sign from Chase Gordon. Checks the runner at first. Here's the pitch, and that's just high for a ball. Count moves to 1-2. Here's Spray with the 1-2 pitch, and that's going to be low for a ball. So the count will move to 2-2. One out in the top of the second. Zach Valentine in the on-deck circle for the Cougars. 2-2 the count, one out. Scoreless ball game. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be inside for a ball. Count moves to 3-2. Caden Spray early on has thrown 23 pitches, 13 of them for strikes. Here's the payoff pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike three. So Nathan Owens is retired on strikes, and that'll bring to the plate Zach Valentine. Valentine today playing right field. Zach Valentine, a 6'4" junior out of Scottsdale, Arizona. Enjoys working out and hanging out with his friends. First pitch to Valentine is chopped back up the middle. Barcelo with it, steps on the bag, and there's the third out. So for the second inning in a row, the Cougars get a hit, but for the second inning in a row, Caden Spray manages to work out of it. We move to the bottom of the second. Our score is tied, 0-0. On to the bottom of the second we go. Paul Sachin to lead things off for the Rangers. He'll be followed by designated hitter Chad Green and center fielder Trevor Sayre. Face Saxton Sorensen. Sorensen, after retiring the Rangers 1-2-3 in the top of the first on 12 pitches. Paul Sachin for the Rangers coming off a season when he hit .276 with an on-base percentage of .357. First pitch is taken for a strike. The count is 0-1. Sachin also hit 7 home runs and 39 RBIs last year on his way to an all-GAC honorable mention season. 0-1 pitch is inside and low for a ball. Count moves to 1-1. Sorensen last pitched in 2023 for the Cougars, where he made 15 appearances, started 12 games. And the 1-1 pitch is taken inside and low for a ball. Count moves to 2-1. He pitched 52 1/3 innings in 2023, gave up 93 hits, 74 earned runs. He walked 46 and struck out 55. Here he's ahead in the count 2-1. Sachin will foul that one off, and the count moves to 2-2. 2-2 the count. Score is tied 0-0. 0 runs on 2 hits for Colorado Christian. 0 runs on 0 hits for the Rangers. The 2-2 pitch is inside for a ball. The count moves to 3-2. 3-2 the count. Here's the payoff pitch, and that hits low. And that's going to be ball 4. So Paul Sachin is the Rangers' first base runner of the game, and that'll bring to the plate Chad Green. Chad Green is the designated hitter for the Rangers. Last year he hit .385, hit 7 home runs, had 34 RBIs, made the all-GAC second team. On-base percentage of .453 with a slugging percentage of .654. So runner on first. Nobody out in the bottom of the second. Chad Green swings at the first pitch and fouls it off. Count is 0-1. Chad Green out of La Habra, California, majoring in business entrepreneurship. 0-1 the count. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be inside for a ball. Count moves to 1-1. 1-1 the count. Sorensen gets the sign, fires over to first. Nice easy toss. Sachin back easily. Rangers were a team that liked to run last year. Did not have a stolen base yesterday. Sachin last year was 3 out of 4 on stolen base attempts. The 1-1 pitch is taken for a ball. The count moves to 2-1. 2-1 the count in a 0-0 ball game. In the first game of a doubleheader. Here's the 2-1 pitch. That ball is going to be lined out to right field. Valentine is back on it. Will it stay fair? Valentine with a diving catch. And Sachin having to get back to first, and he's going to be doubled off. So Sachin was running on the hit. Valentine with a diving catch in right field has the presence of mind to get up and throw out Paul Sachin, and just like that, there are 2 outs. So that'll bring Trevor Sayre to the plate for the Rangers. And Sayre's first pitch swinging. He's going to pop it up over there to the first base side. Catch is made. And that's the 3rd out of the inning. To the 3rd we go. Our score is tied 0-0. Caden Spray on to face the Cougars here in the top of the third. He'll face Gavin Acosta, Connor Lang, then back to the top of the order for the Cougars with Lucas Heinze. Gavin Acosta, a senior, Phoenix, Arizona. Check swing foul on the first pitch. The count is 0-1. Acosta actually the Cougars' leading returning hitter. Hit .276 last year, a couple home runs and 21 RBIs. The 0-1 pitch is taken for a ball, and the count moves to 1-1. Acosta will be followed by Connor Lang and Lucas Heinze. Here's the 1-1 pitch, and that ball is going to be lifted into right field. Paul Sachin got a good jump on it, but that ball's going to fall. Acosta around second. He's around first, and he'll be in with a leadoff double. Just a ball hit right down the line in right field. And the Cougars, for the first time today, have a runner in scoring position, and for the third straight inning, have a hit. So Connor Lang will step to the plate. Nobody out, runner on second. Connor Lang, a senior out of Dallas, Oregon. Caden Spray going to have to work himself out of a jam here in the third. Fires back to second. The ball is off the glove of Harley Schaefer. Gets into the outfield. Acosta will go to third. Here comes the throw from Sayre, but it's not going to be in time. And now the Cougars have a runner on third with nobody out. So, what was a jam for Caden Spray becomes an even more difficult situation with the runner on third. And nobody out. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be fouled off. The count is 0-1 to the Cougar third baseman. 0-1 the count. Runner on third. Nobody out in the top of the third. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and that's going to be taken low for a ball. The count moves to 1-1. No runs on 3 hits for the Cougars. No runs on no hits for the Rangers. Here's the pitch. And the 1-1 pitch is taken for a ball. The count moves to 2-1. Caden Spray trying to work out of the difficulties, but he's got to be somewhat careful because the top of the lineup is up next. That ball is going to be planted into center field for a base hit. Sayre over to cut it off. The run will score, and the Cougars lead it 1-0. So that'll bring Lucas Heinze to the plate. Heinze is 1 for 1 today. He led off the game with a single. Cougars now with a runner on first, a 1-0 lead, and they have 4 hits. Rangers have yet to get their first hit of the ball game. Here's the first pitch to Heinze, and that's over for a strike. Count is 0-1. Won the count. Checks the runner at first. Here's the pitch from Caden Spray. And that ball is going to be hit sharply to shortstop Schaefer. Up with it. There's one, but throw was just a little high, so Barcelo couldn't make the turn. But there is the first out in the inning. So Lucas Heinze, he hits into a fielder's choice. And that'll bring to the plate Gregory Rangel. So 1 out now. There's still a runner at first base. Rangel is 0 for 1 today. He lined out sharply to left fielder Carson Wright in his first at bat. Count is 1-0. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be fouled off. The count moves to 1-1. So 1-1 the count. Runner on first. Caden Spray on the mound for the Rangers. And that ball's going to be hit sharply to Bradford. Fires over to second for one. The throw was just wide, so Schaefer can't make the return throw, but there is the second out of the inning. So Gregory Rangel, second batter in a row for the Cougars to hit into a fielder's choice. And that'll bring up Mason Hagel-Pitt to the plate. Hagel-Pitt struck out in his first at bat. He's first pitch swinging there for strike one. 0-1 the count. Runner on first. Rangers trailing this one by a score of 2-1. Spray firing over to first. Back safely is Rangel. Caden Spray about to throw pitch number 40. Fires over to first. Spray has thrown 24 strikes, 14 balls. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and that's going to be low for a ball. And that'll move the count to 1-1. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That ball's going to be lifted foul. And the count will move to 1-2. Rangers in their half of the third will send Harley Schaefer, Colby Grace, and Chase Gordon to the plate. Here's the 1-2 pitch. And that's a little high for a ball. Move the count to 2-2. Here's the 2-2 pitch. That ball's going to be lifted into center field. Trevor Sayre there and makes the catch, and that's the third out of the inning. But the Cougars managed to get one across. We go to the bottom of the third. Colorado Christian leading this one by a score of 1-0. On to the bottom of the third we go. Harley Schaefer will lead things off for the Rangers. He will be followed by Colby Grace and Chase Gordon. Rangers trailing this one by a score of 1-0, have yet to record their first hit on the game. Harley Schaefer, a junior out of Beggs, Oklahoma, majoring in health and sports science, gets the start today at shortstop. And here's the first pitch, and Schaefer swings and misses for strike one. So 0-1 the count. And the 0-1 pitch is inside and low for a ball. That'll move the count to 1-1. Schaefer did manage to get into the game yesterday for the Rangers. He had one at bat, did not get a hit. Came on to pinch hit for Jacob Wiltshire. The 1-1 pitch is taken low for a ball, and that'll move the count to 2-1. Here's the 2-1 pitch, and that'll be low for a ball. Count moved to 3-1. So while the Rangers don't have a hit yet today, they have drawn a walk. Schaefer hoping to get on board here, maybe get something started for the Rangers here in the bottom of the third. Here's the pitch, swung on and missed, and the count moves to 3-2. Colby Grace in the on-deck circle for the Rangers. Of course, Colby was the ninth-inning hero in yesterday's game. Here's the payoff pitch, swung on and missed, strike 3. So that'll bring Colby Grace to the plate. Grace yesterday in the bottom of the ninth doubled to right center field, scoring Trevor Sayre, and allowed the Rangers to walk off game 1 of this series by a score of 3-2. And he'll face Saxton Sorensen. Here's the first pitch from Sorensen to the senior psychology major. That's outside for a ball. The count is 1-0. So 1-0 the count to Colby Grace, getting the start today at third base. Here's the pitch. That's outside for a ball. The count moves to 2-0. Grace last year hit .239, on base percentage of .324, and a slugging percentage of .485. One of 3 Rangers tied for the lead in home runs for the season with 12, also had 33 RBIs. The 2-0 pitch is outside for a ball. The count moves to 3-0. Chase Gordon in the on-deck circle for the Rangers. He would be followed by Dylan Bradford and Carson Wright if the inning should be extended that far. Here's the 3-0 pitch, and that's outside for ball 4. So Colby Grace works the second walk of the game issued by Saxton Sorensen, and that'll bring to the plate Chase Gordon. Chase today getting the start at catcher, the sophomore out of Bristow, Oklahoma, business major. Here's the first pitch to Chase Gordon. That's high and outside for a ball. Count is 1-0. So Colby Grace at first. After working a walk, Rangers still looking for their first hit. And Sorensen fires back to first, but Colby Grace is back safely. Want to know the count. Here's the pitch, and that's outside for a ball, and that'll move the count to 2-0. Sorensen will get a visit from catcher Nathan Owens. Try to figure out what they want to do here. So the visit to the mound is over. Nathan Owens finished strategizing with Saxton Sorensen, starting pitcher today for Colorado Christian. 2-0 the count, runner on first. 1 out, bottom of the third. Rangers trailing at 1-0. And the 2-0 count, 2-0 pitch, taken for a strike. The count moves to 2-1. Dylan Bradford on deck for the Rangers. Sorensen fires back to first. Colby Grace back safely. Wind blowing straight out to center field. 2-1 the count. Here's the pitch, and that's outside for a ball. Count moves to 3-1. By the way, Saxton Sorensen now has thrown 37 pitches, 17 of them for strikes. 20 have missed the strike zone. 3-1 the count here to Chase Gordon. And the 3-1 pitch swung on and missed. So that'll work the count full. Now 3-2. Rangers trying to get something going here in the bottom of the third. Here's the payoff pitch. That ball is going to be lifted into left field. Rangel is going back. It's going to get over his head. Colby Grace rounding second. He will hold up at third. And Chase Gordon has a 1-out double And the Rangers have something cooking here in the bottom of the third inning. So that'll bring to the plate Dylan Bradford. Bradford grounded out to first baseman Major Maiden in his first at-bat. But here he's got runners on second and third with one out. And a chance to get across the Rangers' first run of the game. Chase Gordon, by the way, that's the first Ranger hit today. So Bradford, the returning All-GAC and All-Central Region first teamer. Here's the first pitch, and that's going to be high for a ball. Count is 1-0. Carson Wright in the on-deck circle for the Rangers, so it doesn't get any easier for Saxton Sorensen. 1-0 the count. Here's the pitch, and that's over for a strike. So that'll move the count to 1-1. Chase Gordon at second, Colby Grace at third. Colby Grace, of course, walked. Chase Gordon with the double. Here's the 1-1 pitch, and that ball is going to be lined into right field. That's going to fall for a base hit, and our game is tied as Dylan Bradford comes up with the RBI single. Chase Gordon moves to third. And our score is now 1-1. So that'll bring to the plate Carson Wright. Carson is 0 for 1 today, struck out. Had 2 hits yesterday, including an RBI. We'll see what Coach Bowen wants to do here. He may elect to send Dylan Bradford. Runners at first and third. If you can get Bradford to second, you take away the threat of the double play. And you've got a big RBI hitter in Carson Wright at the plate. The first pitch to Carson Wright's taken for a strike. And the count is 0-1. Hagen Barcelo in the on-deck circle for the Rangers. So runners at first and third, one out, bottom of the third. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be fouled off. And the count to Carson Wright moves to 0-2. Rangers trying to add a crooked number onto the scoreboard, take the lead. So 0-2 the count. Firing over to first is Sorensen. Dylan Bradford back safely. To the count. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Carson Wright. Bradford takes off. Wright is swinging. That ball is going to get through. And Carson Wright has his second RBI of the season, and the Rangers take a 2-1 lead. Not a particular hard hit ball by Carson Wright, but it's placed perfectly. Now the Rangers have runners at first and second for Hagen Barcelo. Barcelo grounded out sharply to first baseman Major Maiden in his first at-bat. Rangers now with 2 runners on, still 1 out in the bottom of the third. They have struck for 2 runs this inning. Here's the pitch. And Barcelo checks his swing, but the call is a strike. And the count is 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and that's going to be outside for a ball. That'll move our count to 1-1. So 1 run on 4 hits for the Cougars, 2 runs on 3 hits now for the Rangers. Here's the 1-1 pitch, and that's outside for a ball. That'll move the count to 2-1. Rangers have struck for 2 here in the bottom of the third and looking for more. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Swung on and missed. So that'll move the count to 2-2. Two and two the count. 2 runners on, 1 out in the bottom of the third. Here's the pitch. And that ball's going to be lifted into center field. Lucas Heinze is back on it, but that's going to get over his head. The Ranger runners were held up. Here comes Bradford. He'll come around and he'll score. And Hagen Barcelo gets an RBI on the double over the head of center fielder Lucas Heinze. Now the Rangers lead it by a score of 3-1. That was just kind of one of those balls that didn't look particularly like it was hit real hard, but it gets up there in the wind and it just goes and goes and goes. So Rangers now lead it 3-1. Paul Sachin comes to the plate. Sachin does not have an official at bat in this game. He walked in his first plate appearance. And Colorado Christian is going to get an arm up in the bullpen. And they're going to get a visit from the coaching staff. Visit over. Sorensen will stay in the game. Rangers now with runners at second and third. Carson Wright at third. Hagen Barcelo at second. They've struck for 3 runs in this inning. Lead it now 3-1. Still 1 out. First pitch to Paul Sachin. He swings and misses for a strike. Count is 0-1. Chad Green in the on-deck circle for the Rangers. Here's the pitch. And that ball's going to be lined into right field. Back on it is Valentine. That's going to get down. That's going to go for extra bases. Rangers are going to get 2 out of this one. Wright comes home to score. Barcelo comes home to score. And the Rangers lead it by a score of 5-1. So Paul Sachin with the 2-run double. Rangers lead it now 5-1, still 1 out. Paul Sachin at second base. Chad Green come to the plate. Chad Green hit a ball well to right field, but Zach Valentine made a diving catch to come up with it back in the second. And here's the first pitch to Chad Green. That's taken for a strike. And the count is 0-1. Traver Mathis, it looks like, is warming up in the bullpen for the Cougars. Sorensen ahead in the count here to Chad Green, 0-1. Here's the pitch, and Chad Green swings and misses. And so that'll move the count to 0-2. Trevor Sayre in the on-deck circle for the Rangers. Rangers have struck for 5 runs here in the third on 5 hits and a walk. So 0-2 the count. Chad Green steps to the plate. Sorensen checks Sachin at second. And here's the 0-2 pitch. And that's outside for a ball. That's going to move the count to 1-2. Sorensen looked really strong here for about 2 1/3 inning. But these Ranger hitters, once they get going, it'll be a very difficult lineup to manage. 1-2 the count. Here's the pitch. And that's outside for a ball. It gets away from Nathan Owens. So Sachin will take third. The count, meanwhile, will move to 2-2. And Sachin will advance to third base on the wild pitch. So 2-2 the count. Runner on third, 1 out. Chad Green at the plate. Trevor Sayre in the on-deck circle. Sorensen gets the sign. Here's the 2-2 pitch. That ball is going to be lifted into center field. Heinze back on it. He's going to watch it get out of here as Chad Green with the 2-run home run. And the Rangers lead is 7-1. So touch 'em all, Chad Green. Rangers' first home run on the season. And that'll bring to the plate Trevor Sayre. But before Trevor Sayre can hit, We're going to have a pitching change. So on to pitch for the Cougars. It'll be junior Trevor Mathis, and he'll face Trevor Sayre. Sayre takes ball one. Mathis from Sargent, Texas, way down there on the Texas Gulf Coast, unincorporated community down there, population of about 1,200. That pitch is inside for a ball, and the count moves to 2-0. So 2-0 the count to the Rangers center fielder. Here's the pitch from Mathis, and that's going to be inside for a ball, and the count moves to 3-0. Harley Schaefer on deck for the Rangers. Trevor Mathis, big fisherman down there on the Texas Gulf Coast. Here's the 3-0 pitch. That's outside for a ball. And Trevor Sayre will take first base. And that'll bring Harley Schaefer to the plate. Harley today is 0 for 1. He struck out in his first at bat. Rangers leading this one now by a score of 7-1. There's still one out in the bottom of the third, as this Ranger lineup has absolutely turned it on here in the third. Here's the first pitch, and that's going to be outside for a ball. Count is 1-0. So Sorensen today for Colorado Christian pitched 2 1/3, gave up 7 earned runs. He walked 2, struck out 2, gave up 6 hits. Meanwhile, the count to Harley Schaefer is now 1-1. Trevor Sayre at first. Here's the pitch, and that's going to, well, that hit him. So Harley Schaefer will take first base. And that'll bring to the plate Colby Grace. Colby kind of got this inning started for the Rangers by working a walk. And Chase Gordon will be in the on-deck circle for the Rangers. 1 run on 4 hits for Colorado Christian. Now 7 runs on 6 hits for the Rangers. And here's the pitch from Mathis. Off-speed pitch, gets over for a strike. The count is 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Swung on and missed. I suppose might have been fouled off. Either way, it's 0-2. 0-2 the count to the Rangers' third baseman. One of 3 Rangers last year to hit 12 home runs and lead the team in that statistic. 0-2 the count. Runners on first and second, 1 out, bottom of the third. Rangers leading at 7-1. They've scored all 7 runs in this inning. And here's the 0-2 pitch. And that ball's going to be skied high. Maiden looking at it, makes the catch, and there's the second out of the inning. So that'll bring Chase Gordon to the plate. Gordon doubled in his last at-bat, going opposite field, putting it over the head of left fielder Gregory Rangel. And he will face the left-hander Trevor Mathis. Here's the first pitch, and that's outside for ball 1. Dylan Bradford in the on-deck circle for the Rangers. If Gordon can extend the inning. 1-0 the count. Runners on first and second. And the 1-0 pitch is taken outside for a ball. And that'll move the count to 2-0. 2-0 the count. Here's the pitch. And that ball is going to be roped into right field for a base hit. Here comes Trevor Sayre. The play at the plate is not going to be made, and the Rangers now lead at 8-1. Chase Gordon with an RBI. And meanwhile, Harley Schaefer gets to third on the single. Hard hit ground ball there by Chase Gordon, who's now 2 for 2. So that'll bring Dylan Bradford to the plate. Bradford today is 1 for 2. He grounded out and singled earlier in the inning. Rangers now lead it by a score of 8-1. Bradford today 1 for 2 with an RBI. Here's the first pitch to Dylan Bradford, and that's low for a ball. The count is 1-0. Carson Wright in the on-deck circle. Hoping to get another shot here in the third. Cougars have another pitcher in the bullpen. The 1-0 pitch to Dylan Bradford is looked at for a ball. The count moves to 2-0. 2-0 the count. Chase Gordon at first. Harley Schaefer at third. 2 outs. Bottom of the third. Here's the pitch. And that's outside for a ball. So that'll move the count to 3-0. Mathis checks the runner at first. Here's the 3-0 pitch. And that's ball 4. So that'll load them up for the Rangers returning Northwestern Athlete of the Year, Carson Wright, who already has a hit and an RBI in today's game, had an RBI in yesterday's game and 2 hits. And he's got a chance for more here in the bottom of the third. There are 2 outs. Bases are full of Rangers. Rangers leading it 8-1. Here's the pitch. And right, his first pitch swinging sends that to left field. Rangel is there, makes the catch, and the inning is over. But the Rangers strike for 8. They lead it now 8-1. We're going to the top of the fourth. Well, it'll be Major Maiden, Aiden Welsh, and Nathan Owens to face the Ranger starting left-hander Caden Spray here in the top of the fourth. Rangers struck for 8 runs in the bottom of the third. Caden Spray looking for the shutdown inning here. Here's the first pitch to Major Maiden, and that's looked at for a strike. Maiden today is 0 for 1. He grounded out to first baseman Dylan Bradford the first time he was at the plate. 0-1 the count here. Here's the pitch. And that ball is going to be skied into right center field. Trevor Sayre is there, makes the catch. And there's the first out of the inning for the Cougars. So that'll bring to the plate Aiden Welsh. Welsh today is 1 for 1. He singled to right field in his first at bat. Here's the first pitch, and that's over for a strike. Count is 0-1. So for the second straight batter of this inning, Caden Spray has delivered a first pitch strike. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and that's outside for a ball. That'll move the count to 1-1. Nobody on, 1 out, top of the fourth. Rangers leading it by a score of 8-1. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That ball is going to be lifted into left field. Carson Wright is back, and it's going to get over his head and out of here for a home run. So Aiden Welsh sends the ball out, and Colorado Christian cuts the Rangers' lead to 8-2. So that is the second run for the Cougars on 5 hits. Cougars also had a solo home run in yesterday's game by Mason Hagel-Pitt. That'll bring to the plate Nathan Owens. Owens today is 0 for 1. He struck out swinging in his first at bat, and the first pitch to Owens is outside for a ball. Count is 1-0. 1-0 pitch, outside for a ball, moves the count to 2-0. Spray's gone 3 1/3 for the Rangers, giving up 2 earned runs. Hasn't walked a batter, struck out 2. Here's the pitch. And the 2-0 pitch catches the inside corner for a strike. The count moves to 2-1. 2-1 the count, 1 out. Top of the 4th, Rangers leading it 8-2. Here's the pitch, and that ball's going to be lifted into right field. Paul Sachin is there, makes the catch, and there's the second out of the inning for the Cougars. So Zach Valentine will step to the plate. He is 0 for 1 today, hit into a fielder's choice. His first at bat. The Cougars offense, they've gotten at least one base runner on in every inning of this game so far. The first pitch to Valentine is taken for a ball. The count is 1-0. Still got Ranger, still got a Cougar arm warming up in the bullpen. Looks like a right-hander. 1-0 the count to Zach Valentine. And here's the pitch from Caden Spray, swung on and missed for a strike. And the count is 1-1. So 1-1 the count. And that one is swung on and missed. And the count moves to 1-2. Should Valentine manage to get on base here, Gavin Acosta in the on-deck circle for the Cougars. 1-2 the count. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be fouled back to remain the count 1-2. Caden Spray trying to limit the damage here in the 4th to the 1 run. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be low for a ball. That'll move the count to 2-2. 2-2 the count. And that ball's going to be lifted into left field, but that will go foul. The count will hold at 2-2. So Zach Valentine, nice job battling here. Got down in the count 1-2. Managed to even the count up. Fouling off a couple of pitches by Caden Spray. Timeout is called, giving the Rangers the opportunity to go fetch the foul ball. 2-2 the count. And here's the pitch. And that's going to be hit to third. Colby Grace unable to come up with it. Schaefer there, fires to first, but it's not going to be in time. And Zach Valentine is going to reach. So error on Colby Grace, allowing Zach Valentine to get to first. So that'll bring Gavin Acosta to the plate. Acosta is 1 for 1 today. He doubled in his first at bat. Here's the pitch to Acosta, and the first pitch is taken for strike 1. So the error by Grace at third is the second error of the game for the Rangers. 0-1 the count to Acosta. And here's the pitch. And that ball is going to be lifted into left field. Carson Wright back on it, but he will watch that one get out of here. And the Cougars had their second home run of the inning. This one a 2-run shot by shortstop Gavin Acosta. And that's going to pull the Cougars to within 8-4. So that'll bring to the plate Connor Lang. Lang today is 1 for 1. He singled in his first at bat. And the Rangers, who started off this inning with an 8-1 lead, have seen it cut to 8-4. The first pitch to Connor Lang is swung on and missed. And the count is 0-1. Rangers looks like a little bit of activity out there in the bullpen. 0-1 the count to Connor Lang. Here's the pitch. And that ball is going to be sky high to right field. Coming on is Sachin. It's going to fall in front of him for a base hit. And there's another hit. Actually, the 7th hit today for the Cougars as Connor Lang gets on for the 2nd time today. And that'll bring to the plate Lucas Heinze. Heinze today is 1 for 2. He singled in his first at bat, hit into a fielder's choice in his second at bat. And Ranger pitching coach Matt Bickford will come out to have a word with the 6'8" sophomore. So the conference is over. Runner on first for the Cougars. 2 outs in the top of the 4th. Lucas Heinze at the plate. And here's the first pitch to Heinze. That's going to be lifted foul. Dylan Bradford will go over and take a look at it, but that will land on the top of the Colorado Christian dugout. Count is 0-1. Aiden Faison over there to retrieve the ball. 0-1 the count. Top of the 4th. Rangers leading it by a score of 8-4. Here's the pitch. That ball is going to be lifted into center field. Sarah is back on it, makes the catch, and that's the 3rd out of the inning. But Colorado Christian strikes for 3. They cut the Ranger lead to 8-4. We're going to the bottom of the 4th with Hagen Barcelo, Paul Sachin, and Chad Green due up for the Rangers. On to pitch for Colorado Christian. Be the junior 6-foot right-hander from St. George, Utah, Luis Acuna. And he will face Hagen Barcelo, Paul Sachin, and Chad Green for the Rangers. Barcelo is 1 for 2 today. He is doubled and grounded out. And the first pitch from Acuna is low for a ball. The count is 1-0. And the door will be closed on Trevor Mathis, who pitched 2/3 of an inning, gave up 1 earned run, walked 2, gave up 1 hit. 1-0 pitch to Barcelo is taken for a strike. And the count is 1-1. Here's the 1-1 pitch, and that's outside for a ball. Count moves to 2-1. Paul Sachin in the on-deck circle for the Rangers, looking to answer Colorado Christian. 2-1 pitch is outside for a ball, and that'll move the count to 3-1. So 3-1 the count. Here's the pitch, and that ball is going to be shot right back up the middle for a base hit. And Hagen Barcelo has his second hit of the day. And the Rangers with a leadoff single to start their half of the fourth. Paul Sachin to the plate. Sachin today is 1 for 1. He has walked and doubled. Acuna getting the sign from Nathan Owens. Here's the first pitch to Sachin. That's going to be lifted into shallow center field. Acosta back on it, makes the catch, and there's the first out of the inning. So Chad Green to the plate. Green today is 1 for 2. He was robbed of an extra base hit by right fielder Zach Valentine in his first at bat. The second bat left no opportunity for dramatic catches by the Cougar outfielders by sending it out of the yard. Runner on first, 1 out, bottom of the fourth. Rangers leading it by a score of 8-4. Here's the first pitch to Chad Green, and that is high for a ball. Want to know the count? Trevor Sayre in the on-deck circle for the Rangers. Acuna gets the sign from Nathan Owens. Here's the pitch, and that's taken for a strike. Count moves to 1-1. 4 runs on 7 hits for the Cougars, 8 runs on 8 hits for the Rangers. The Rangers also with a couple of errors in this one. Both teams have left 3 runners on. Here's the pitch, and the 1-1 pitch is taken for a ball. That'll move the count to 2-1. Here's the 2-1 pitch. And that's low for a ball. That'll move the count to 3-1. 3-1 the count. Chad Green looking to add to his RBI total on the day. He's already got 2. Here's the pitch, and that's inside for a ball. So Chad Green takes first base. Hagen Barcelo will go to second. That'll bring Trevor Sayre to the plate. Sayre today is 0 for 1. He has popped up to first baseman Major Maiden, and he has walked. Here's the pitch. And Sayre swings and misses for a strike. Count is 0-1. 0-1 the count. Barcelo at second, Chad Green at first for the Rangers. Following a single and a walk. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be outside for a ball. Count moves to 1-1. Harley Schaefer in the on-deck circle for the Rangers. So 1-1 the count. Runners at first and second. Here's the pitch. And that's outside for a ball. The count moves to 2-1. Trevor Sayre being very patient. Nobody warming up for the Cougars. A little bit of activity in the Rangers bullpen. 2-1 the count. Runners at first and second. 1 out. And the 2-1 pitch is going to be sky high. Nathan Owens is back. He makes the catch. And there's the second out of the inning. that'll bring Harley Schaefer to the plate. Schaefer is 0 for 1 today. He has struck out, and he has been hit by a pitch. And the Rangers down to 1 out, left in the 4th. 2 runners on, 2 outs. First pitch to Schaefer is going to be inside for a ball. Count is 1-0. Acuna gets the sign from catcher Nathan Owens. Checks the runner at second. Here's the pitch. And that ball is going to be roped, but right at first baseman Major Maiden, who makes the catch. And there's the 3rd out of the inning for the Rangers. So the Rangers get a couple on, but are unable to get them across. We move to the 5th. Rangers leading this one by a score of 8-4. On to the 5th inning we go. Caden Spray on the mound for the Rangers. And he will face Gregory Rangel, Mason Hagel-Pitt, and Major Maiden. 4 runs on 7 hits for Colorado Christian. 8 runs on 8 hits for the Rangers. Rangel today is 0 for 2. He has popped out and flied out to shallow left field on a sharply hit ball. Carson Wright with a nice defensive play out there. The first pitch to Rangel is taken for a ball. And the count is 1-0. Spray has thrown 65 pitches, 43 of them for strikes. But the 1-0 pitch to Gregory Rangel is taken for a ball, and the count moves to 2-0. Here's the 2-0 pitch. And that's over for a strike. The count moves to 2-1. Rangers trying to equal last season's good start where they started off the year winning 7 out of 8. Here's the pitch. And the 2-1 pitch is high for a ball. The count moves to 3-1. Rangers winning the first game of this series. Last year when they won the first game of the series, they went on to win 8 out of 8 of those series. So they won all 8 series where they won the first game. The 3-1 pitch is taken for a strike. That'll move the count to 3-2. Rangers, when they didn't win the first game last year, won 1 out of 5. Here's the pitch, and the 3-2 pitch is fouled off. Usually if you win the first game of the series, you give yourself a pretty good chance at winning the series. So 3-2 the count. Here's the payoff pitch. And that ball is going to be hit sharply to first base. Dylan Bradford dives but can't come up with it. Barcelo is there. He'll throw to Caden Spray, who's covering the base, but that'll go down as an infield single, I believe. that'll bring Mason Hagel-Pitt to the plate. Hagel-Pitt today is 0 for 2. He has struck out swinging and flied out to center fielder Trevor Sayre. Chase Gordon wants to visit with Caden Spray. Talk a little strategy here with a runner on first and nobody out. Well, on the pitch for the Rangers will be a junior from Kansas City, Kansas, Eric Tapia. Tapia by way of Fort Scott. Last year started 14 games, went 6-5, had a complete game shutout, pitched 61 in the third innings, gave up 46 hits, 33 earned runs, walked 45, struck out 56. And he will face Mason Hagel-Pitt. And the first pitch from Tapia is taken for a strike. And the count is 0-1. So 0-1 the count to Hagel-Pitt. Gregory Rangel at first. Rangers leading it by a score of 8-4. Nobody out in the top of the fifth. That ball is going to get away from catcher Chase Gordon, and Gregory Rangel is going to go to second. So the count is 1-1. Runner on second, nobody out in the top of the fifth. Rangers leading it by a score of 8-4. Tapia gets the sign, checks the runner at second. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That's high and inside for a ball. And that'll move the count to 2-1. 2-1 the count. Here's the pitch, and that's fouled off. And that'll move the count to 2-2. Major Maiden in the on-deck circle for the Cougars. Rangers with a right-hander warming up in their bullpen. A little bit of stirring in the Cougar bullpen. Here's the 2-2 pitch. And that's going to be low and outside for a ball. And the count's going to move to 3-2. Three and two the count. Eric Tapia with his first appearance in a Ranger uniform. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Steps off the plate. Reset. No, they're going to go ahead and walk the base runner. That'll bring Major Maiden to the plate. Maiden today is 0 for 2. He has grounded out to first baseman Dylan Bradford, and he flew out to Trevor Sayre at his last at bat. Runners on first and second, nobody out in the top of the fifth. Tapia gets the sign. And here's the pitch. And that's outside for a ball. Count is 1-0. Tapia can have some control issues from time to time. Opponents, though, only hit .203 off of him last year at Fort Scott. Here's the pitch. That ball's going to be lifted into right field. Paul Sachin back on it, still going back, looking up, makes the jump, but can't bring it in. So Major Maiden with a 3-run home run. This game is now 8-7 off the third home run today by the Cougar hitters. So once was a pretty big lead for the Rangers has now been cut to 1 as the score is now 8-7. Aiden Welsh steps to the plate. He's 2 for 2 today. He is singled and homered. By the way, that'll close the book on Ranger starter Caden Spray. He goes 4 innings, gives up 5 earned runs, 8 hits. Didn't walk a batter, but only struck out 2. And the first pitch to Aiden Welsh. The umpire says it hit him. Aiden Welsh is not acting like it hit him. And now he'll go down to first. So that'll bring Nathan Owens to the plate. Owens is 0 for 2 today. He is struck out. He flied out to Ranger right fielder Paul Sachin. So runner on first, nobody out. Colorado Christian now with one run in the third, 3 in the fourth, now 3 in the fifth. They're trailing it by a run, 8-7. Here's the pitch. The ball's going to be fouled back, and the count is 0-1. Rangers with a right-hander warming up in the bullpen. 0-1 the count to Nathan Owens. The 0-1 pitch is over for a strike. That'll move the count to 0-2. To the count. Tapia gets the sign. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be taken for a ball. That'll move the count to 1-2. One and two the count. And that pitch is off the outside corner for a ball. That'll move the count to 2-2. Two and two the count, runner on first. Nobody out in the fifth. And the 2-2 pitch is high. And that'll move the count to full 3-2. Here's the payoff pitch, and that's outside for a ball. So now, Colorado Christian with runners at first and second, following the hit batter and the walk. And that'll bring to the plate Zach Valentine. Valentine today is 0 for 2. He grounded into a fielder's choice, and he reached on an error. And it looks like Coach Bowen is going to come out and make a pitching change here, I would think. But we will see. Well, there will, in fact, be a pitching change for the Rangers. We'll tell you who it is when we come back. Watch, is going to be junior Kyle Holzer. Holzer out of Denton, Texas, just north of the Triplex, comes to Northwestern by way of Murray State College. Last year for the Aggies, he pitched in 20, gave up 6 walks, 10 earned runs, struck out 23. To a difficult situation here facing Zach Valentine, who squares up to bunt. And he does bunt, holds your over to cover it, fires down to first, and there's the first out. Welsh advances to second. So that'll bring to the plate Gavin Acosta. Acosta in this game is 2 for 2. He has doubled and homered. 1 out, top of the 5th. Runners now on second and third. Rangers holding on to an 8-7 lead. Here's the first pitch to Acosta. And that tried to hold up his swing but was unable to, and so that's strike 1. The count. limit in the fifth. Playing in the on-deck circle for the Cougs. Holger's Faven Acosta. Here's the pitch. Heading back to the pitcher's mound. Can't get to it. And so that's going to end up being an infield single. Meanwhile, another run comes across to score. We now have a tied ball game. So Connor Lang to the plate. He is also Cougar lineup has really come through for them in this game. First pitch to Connor Lang is inside for a ball. Count is 1-0. Connor Lang and Gavin Acosta have now combined to go 5 for 5. With 4 RBIs between them. The 1-0 pitch is swung on. So 1 out in the top of the fifth. Runners on second and third. Rangers now in a tied ball game, 8-8. Nathan Holger facing Connor Lang. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be fouled off at the plate, and the count moves to 1-2. Holger now the third Ranger pitcher in the game. Caden Spray pitched 4 innings. Tapia did not record an out. That pitch is fouled off. Count moves, or holds rather, at 1-2. Tapia didn't record an out, and now Kyle Holger trying to tightrope his way out of this one. So 1-2 the count. Runners at second and third. Score now tied 8-8. Holger being very deliberate here. Here's the pitch. And that one's going to be getting away from catcher Chase Gordon. It's actually a strikeout, drop third strike. Ball got away from Gordon, and another run scores. That'll bring Lucas Hinsey to the plate. Hinsey's 1 for 1 today. 1 for 3 with a single, hit into a fielder's choice and a flyout. And the first pitch to Hinsey is swung on for a strike. Won the count to Hinsey. And the 0-1 pitch is swung on for a strike. That'll move the count to 0-2. The 0-2 pitch is taken for a ball. And that'll move the count to 1-2. So 1-2 the count. Here's the pitch. And that ball's going to be fouled off. The count will hold at 1-2. Holger gets the sign. Here's the pitch. And that ball's going to be lifted foul. Dylan Bradford over to take a look at it. He parks underneath it, makes the catch. And there's the second out of the inning. So that'll bring to the plate Gregory Rangel. Rangel today's 1 for 3. He is singled, hit into a fielder's choice, and lined out to left fielder Carson Wright. Here's the first pitch to Rangel. That's on the inside corner for a strike. The count is 0-1. Won the count. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be chopped foul. And the count will move to 0-2. So 0-2 the count. There's 2 outs in the top of the 5th. Colorado Christian has struck for 5 runs in this inning to take a 9-8 lead. There are runners on first and third. Kyle Holger trying to get out of it. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. But the damage has been done. Colorado Christian gets 5. We go to the bottom of the 5th. Rangers trailing this one by a score of 9-8. So it'll be Colby Grace, Chase Gordon, and Dylan Bradford to face Luis Acuna on for his second inning of work. Rangers trailing this one now by a score of 9-8. Colorado Christian, 1 run in the 3rd, 3 in the 4th, 5 in the 5th. Rangers still have only scored in 1 inning. That was the 3rd. They did score 8 runs. The first pitch to Colby Grace is inside for a ball. Colby today is 0 for 1. He has walked and he has popped up. That ball is going to be hit sharply to 3rd. Laying up with it, fires over to 1st. And Colby Grace is retired 5-3 on the ground out. So that'll bring to the plate Chase Gordon. Gordon getting the start at catcher today. Or in this game, rather. Zach Fatal got the start yesterday, but Gordon today has gone 2 for 2. He has doubled and he has singled. Also picked up an RBI. Here's the first pitch to Chase Gordon. That swung on, a little flubber out there. Laying up with it, fires to 1st. And Chase Gordon is retired. Chase Gordon also down 5-3. And that'll bring to the plate Dylan Bradford. Bradford today is 1 for 2. He has grounded out to first base. He has singled and he has walked. Carson Wright in the on-deck circle for the Rangers if Bradford can get on base here. The first pitch to Bradford is low and inside for a ball. And the count is 1-0. So 1-0 the count. Rangers trying to answer the 5 spot put up by the Cougars in the 5th. Here's Acuna with the 1-0 pitch, and that's going to be high for a ball. The count moves to 2-0. Acuna gets the sign from catcher Nathan Owens. Here's the pitch, and that hit him. So Dylan Bradford will take first, and that will bring to the plate Carson Wright. Carson today is 1 for 3. He is singled, struck out swinging, and he flew out. Carson does have an RBI in this game, extending his early season streak of 2 games in a row with an RBI. Here's the first pitch to Carson Wright. That's high for a ball. Count is 1-0. Carson Wright out of Bellevue, Nebraska. 1-0 the count. Acuna with the sign. Here's the pitch. And that's over for a strike. The count moves to 1-1. Hagen Barcelo in the on-deck circle for the Rangers. Barcelo today is 2 for 3 with a couple of big hits early on. Here's the pitch, and that's high and outside for a ball. The count moves to 2-1. So 2-1 the count. Dylan Bradford at first. 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th. Rangers trailing this one by a score of 9-8. 8 runs on 8 hits for the Rangers. They've stranded 5 today. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Bradford takes off for second. Meanwhile, Wright up hitting. Ball's going to be fielded by Hagel Pitt, who flips over to first. And that's it for the Rangers in the 5th. We go to the top of the 6th. Rangers trailing it 9-8. Well, we move to the top of the 6th. Rangers trailing it by a score of 9-8. Kyle Hosier on the mound for the Rangers. And he will face Mason Hagel Pitt, Major Maiden, and Aiden Welsh. Rangers look to be firmly in control of this one, but Colorado Christian puts across 3 in the 4th and 5 in the 5th. First pitch to Mason Hagel Pitt is low for a ball. The count is 1-0. Hagel Pitt today is 0 for 2. He has walked and struck out. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Hagel Pitt. That's outside for a ball. The count moves to 2-0. Here's the 2-0 pitch from Hosier. That's going to be fouled off at the plate. The count moves to 2-1. Hosier, of course, the 3rd Ranger pitcher of the day. 2-1 here to Mason Hagel Pitt. And here's the pitch, and it is swung on and missed for a strike. And that'll move the count to 2-2. The 2-2 pitch is then taken for a ball. That'll move the count to 3-2. Major Maiden, Aiden Welsh to follow Hagel Pitt. You'd rather face Aiden Welsh with nobody on base the way he's hitting the ball in this game. The 3-2 pitch is fouled off. The count will hold. Aiden Welsh 2 for 2 today with an RBI and a long home run. Here's the payoff pitch, and that's outside and low for a ball. So Mason Hagel Pitt down to first. That'll bring to the plate Major Maiden. Maiden today is 1 for 3. And he's got 3 RBIs. So nobody out in the top of the 6th. Rangers trailing at 9-8. Here's the first pitch to Major Maiden, and that ball is crushed, and it is gone. Paul Sachin didn't even make a move toward it. He knew it immediately. And Colorado Christian is going to go up in this one now by a score of 11-8. On a ball that was just absolutely crushed by first baseman Major Maiden. So that'll bring to the plate Aiden Welsh. Welsh today is 2 for 2 with an RBI. He is homered. He is singled, and he's been hit by a pitch in this one. The first pitch to Welsh is looked at for a strike, and the count is 0-1. So nobody out here in the top of the 6th. And that ball is going to be hit foul. Over to take a look at it is Colby Grace, but he's not able to make the catch, and the count will move to 0-2. Nobody out in the top of the 6th. Colorado Christian now, 1 run in the 3rd, 3 in the 4th, 5 in the 5th, now 2 in the 6th so far. And the Rangers find themselves behind in this game after leading it at one time by a score of 8-1. Oh, and 2 the count. Rangers do have a right-hander warming up, getting loose in the bullpen. Here's the pitch. And the 0-2 count is looked at for a ball. That'll move the count to 1-2. Ranger pitchers have counted for 4 strikeouts. That ball is fouled off. Count holds at 1-2. They have struck out 4 collectively, 2 by Caden Spray, 2 by Kyle Hosier so far. They've issued 3 walks. They've given up 11 hits and 10 earned runs. Peel down to first. They say, yes, he did go down, and there's strikeout number 5 for Ranger pitching, the 3rd for Kyle Hosier today. And that'll bring to the plate Nathan Owens. Owens was one of those strikeout victims. He is 0 for 2. He has walked. Now there's 1 out. We're still in the top of the 6th. Nobody on. Rangers trailing at 11-8. And here's the first pitch from Hosier. And Nathan Owens looks at strike 1. Owen won the count. Hosier trying to limit the damage here in the 6th. The 0-1 pitch is looked at for a strike, and that'll move the count to 0-2. Here's the 0-2 pitch. And that just misses for a ball. That'll move the count to 1-2. The 0-2 pitch is inside for a ball. That'll move the count to 2-2. So 2-2, here's the pitch. And that's going to be inside for a ball. That'll move the count full to 3-2. So Nathan Owens, after taking the first 2 pitches for strikes, now worked it back to a full count. It's 3-2. Here's the payoff pitch from Hosier. And that's a called strike 3. Nathan Owens was on his way down to first thinking he had earned a walk, but no, the umpire says. That's the 2nd out of the inning. So now 2 outs. That'll bring to the plate Zach Valentine. Valentine today is 0 for 2. He is reached by an error. And he had a sacrifice bunt, and he is hit into a fielder's choice. First pitch to Valentine is fouled off, and the count is 0-1. So Kyle Hosier now with 4 strikeouts in an inning and 2/3. 0-1 the count, and that's over for a strike. Count moves to 0-2. So 0-2 the count. Here's the pitch. And that's just going to be just fouled. Count will hold at 0-2. Holzer to this point has thrown 39 pitches, 26 of them for strikes. He has struck out 4, given up 2 earned runs. Here's the pitch. That ball is going to be lifted into left field. Carson Wright on the run, and he will watch that one fall in front of him. That's going to be extra bases for Valentine. He'll reach second base standing up. And yet another extra base hit for this Cougar lineup. So that'll bring to the plate Gavin Acosta. Acosta today is 3 for 3. He has doubled, he has homered, and he has singled. So with a triple here, Acosta can reach the cycle. And this bottom portion of the Cougars lineup continues to be all kinds of trouble for the Rangers today. Here's the first pitch to Acosta. That's a swing and a miss for strike 1. Connor Lang, who's in the on-deck circle, he's 2 for 3 today. Acosta's 3 for 3. Valentine's now 1 for 3, so they have combined to go 6 for 9. 0-1 the count here. Runner on second. Here's the pitch. And that's swung on a miss for strike 2. So Holzer here can again limit the damage if he can come up with a third strike or another big pitch. Hagen Barcelo will lead things off for the Rangers in the bottom of the 6th. But Holzer's got to get out of this. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed for strike 3. So Holzer limits the damage, but Colorado Christian gets 2 more across. Rangers trailing this one by a score of 11-8. We're going to the bottom of the 6th. On to pitch for the Cougars will be number 16, Jack Kazin. He is a graduate student from Danville, California. Last pitched in 2023, where he made 1 appearance and in 2/3 of an inning gave up 5 earned runs and walked 4. He'll face Hagen Barcelo, Paul Sachin, and Chad Green for the Rangers. Barcelo is 2 for 3 in this game. He has doubled and singled. And the Rangers are in need of some runs. Here's the first pitch to Barcelo. That's going to be high for a ball. And the count is 1-0. Rangers managed to get 8 runs across in the third inning, but that's the only inning in which they've scored. The 1-0 pitch to Barcelo is looked at for a strike. Count moves to 1-1. Luis Acuna for the Cougars came in, pitched well. 1-1 pitch by Barcelo is swung on a miss for a strike. The count moves to 1-2. Acuna pitched 2 innings, didn't give up an earned run, didn't walk a batter, didn't strike out a batter. Only gave up 1 hit and no runs. 1-2 the count here to Barcelo. That ball is going to be lifted high. Mabin is there and makes the catch, and there's the first out of the 6th inning. So that'll bring to the plate Paul Sachin. Sachin today is 1 for 2. He has walked, he has doubled, and he popped up to shortstop Gavin Acosta. Chad Green in the on-deck circle for the Rangers. Here's the first pitch. And Sachin's going to lift that to center field. Heinze is back on it. He's going to watch it get over his head off the wall. Sachin rounds first. He's going to get to second. And Sachin is in with a double, a stand-up double, his second double of the game. So that'll bring Chad Green to the plate. Green today is 1 for 2. He has homered and walked. Now there's 1 out in the bottom of the 6th. Runner on second. Rangers trailing it by a score of 11-8. And we'll see if Chad Green can either advance the runner or get him home. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be high for a ball. Count is 1-0 to the Rangers' designated hitter. So 1-0 the count. Runner on second. 1 out in the bottom of the 6th. Rangers trailing it 11-8. Here's the 1-0 pitch, and that's going to be over for a strike. Count moves to 1-1. Trevor Sayre in the on-deck circle for the Rangers. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That's going to be fouled off. Count moves to 1-2. Of course, this Colorado Christian team last year won 8 games, but they look like they're headed for a much better season this year. 1-2 the count to Chad Green. Here's the pitch. That ball's going to be roped into left field for a base hit. Sachin around third. He'll score. Chad Green rounding first. He's headed to second. And the Rangers now with back-to-back doubles have cut the lead to 11-9. So that'll bring Trevor Sayre to the plate. Sayre today is 0 for 2, but he has managed to work a walk. And the Rangers would certainly take another one here. Here's the first pitch from Kazin. That ball's going to be grabbed by shortstop Acosta. On with it, throws on the run. But there's the second out for the Rangers. 6-3 if you're scoring at home. And that'll bring to the plate Harley Schaefer. Harley today is 0 for 2. He has been hit by a pitch. He's popped up, and he is struck out. So the Rangers have gotten a run across here in the 6th, but could use another one. Harley Schaefer with the opportunity to hit with a runner in scoring position. Here's the first pitch to Harley Schaefer. That's taken for a strike, and the count is 0-1. If Schaefer can extend the inning, Colby Grace is in the on-deck circle for the Rangers. 0-1 the count. 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th. And that ball is going to be lifted into right center field. That's going to get in for a base hit and extra bases. Chad Green's going to round third. He will score. And here comes Harley Schaefer. He's headed to third, and the throw is not in time. And the Rangers, with 2 doubles and a triple in this inning, have cut the Cougar lead to 11-10. Just a perfectly placed ball right in the gap. And the Rangers Gotten 2 back here in the 6th. That'll bring up Colby Grace, yesterday's hero, with a double in the bottom of the 9th to score Trevor Sayre. Be a good opportunity for him to pick up his 2nd RBI of the year and drive in Trevor Sayre here. Rangers trailing it now by a score of 11-10. The first pitch to Colby Grace is fouled off, and the count is 0-1. Chase Gordon in the on-deck circle for the Rangers. He has had himself quite a ball game. He's already got 2 hits. So if the Rangers can keep this thing going, he'd have another opportunity. That ball's going to be chopped. Shortstop Acosta up with it, throws across his body, and the throw is in time. And that's the 3rd out. But the Rangers get 2 more. We go to the top of the 7th. Rangers trailing this one by a score of 11-10. On to the 7th we go. Rangers wanted a review of that last call. Call was confirmed. It'll be Connor Lang, Lucas Heinze, and Gregory Rangel to face Ranger pitcher Kyle Hosier, who is out for another inning of bullpen work. Hosier, so far to this point in the game, has pitched 2 innings. First pitch to Lang, who is 2 for 2 today with 2 singles, is fouled off for a strike. Holzer's pitched 2 innings. He's given up 2 earned runs. He's walked 1 and struck out 5. He's ahead of the count here to Connor Lang, 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That's going to be lifted high in the air. Dylan Bradford underneath it makes the catch, and it's 1 up, 1 down for Kyle Hosier here in the 7th. Rangers, I do not believe, have a 3 up, 3 down inning in them so far today. Lucas Heinze will step to the plate for the Cougars. He is 1 for 4 with a single. Here's the first pitch from Holzer, and Heinze will look at ball 1, and the count is 1-0. So 1-0 the count. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be poked down to first base. Dylan Bradford can't come up with it. Barcelo up with it, flips to first, but not going to be in time. We'll have to see how the official scorer wants to score that. And that'll be ruled an error, I believe. Regardless, another runner on base for Colorado Christian. There's 1 out in the top of the 7th. Gregory Rangel stepping to the plate. He is 1 for 4 with a single in this game. He's also struck out. Holzer checks the runner. Here's the first pitch, and that is outside for a ball. Ball 1. 1-0 the count. The first game of the doubleheader between these two programs. 1-0 the count. Runner on first. Rangers trailing it 11-10. Here's the 1-0 pitch, and that's going to be outside for a ball. The count moves to 2-0. Rangers do have a right-hander warming up in the bullpen. Holzer, though, for the most part, has been pretty effective today. But he's about to throw pitch number 50 in relief. Here's the pitch, and that's swung on a miss for a strike. And that'll move the count to 2-1. So 2-1 the count. Runner on first. 1 out in the top of the 7th. Colorado Christian, 1 run in the 3rd, 3 in the 4th, 5 in the 5th, 2 in the 6th, and lead it 11-10. Here's the 2-1 pitch, and that's going to be inside for a ball. That'll move the count to 3-1. Mason Hagel Pitt on deck for the Cougars. Kyle Hosier trying to work his way out of this 3-1 difficult situation that he's got on his hands with Gregory Rangel. Fires over to first. Lucas Heinze back safely. Three and one the count. Here's Holzer with the 3-1. Nope, going to fire back over to first. Nice job over there, Dylan Bradford, to dig that one out. Runner back safely. Rangers have committed 3 errors today. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Runner takes off for second. Here's the throw, and the throw is in time. Fantastic throw by Chase Gordon, and there's the second out of the inning as it erases a Cougar base runner. Meanwhile, the pitch was a strike. And now the count is 3-2, but there's 2 outs in the top of the 7th. And here's the payoff pitch. That's going to be fouled off. The count will hold at 3-2. Here's the 3-2 pitch. And that ball's going to be lifted into left field. Porter Pittman back on it, and he will watch that one get out of here. And another home run today by the Colorado Christian Cougars. And that will extend their lead to 12-10. That's the fourth home run today by the Cougars. And that will probably be it for Kyle Hosier. And it will be it. So we will introduce you to the next pitcher when we come back. On to pitch for the Rangers will be 6'5" right-hander Caleb Melvin. Melvin from Gary, Oklahoma by way of Murray State. Last year for the Aggies, he pitched 26 innings, had a 2.77 ERA. He struck out 31 and walked 24. So Melvin to face Mason Hagel-Pitt. And the first pitch to Pitt is swung on a miss for a strike. And the count is 0-1. Colorado Christian from the third inning on has scored at least one run in every inning, and we're in the top of the seventh. The 0-1 pitch off the outside corner for a ball. The count moves to 1-1. Colorado Christian 12 runs on 13 hits. And the 1-1 pitch is taken for a ball. Count moves to 2-1. So 2-1 the count, nobody on. And that pitch is inside and high for a ball. That'll move the count to 3-1. Mason Hagel-Pitt today is 0 for 2. Major Maiden in the on-deck circle for the Cougars. And the 3-1 pitch is looked at for ball 4. So, runner on first now. Rangers have only walked 3 batters today. Major Maiden comes to the plate. He has homered twice, and he is 2 for 4. First pitch to Maben is looked at for ball 1. Maiden today in this game has 5 RBIs, as he has been a real thorn in the side of these Ranger pitchers. Here's the 1-0 pitch, and that's over the inside corner for a strike, and the count moves to 1-1. So 2 outs in the top of the 7th. The Cougars have scored 1 in this inning and lead it by a score of 12-10. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Swung on and missed. Count moves to 1-2. Mason Hagel-Pitt on first. 2 outs, top of the 7th. Caleb Melvin on the mound for the Rangers, making his first appearance for the Red and Black. And here's the 1-2 pitch, and that's high for a ball. And that'll move the count to 2-2. So 2-2 the count. 2 outs, top of the 7th. Melvin gets the sign. Here's the pitch. Just inside for a ball, and that'll move the count to 3-2. So Melvin, after getting ahead in the count 1-2, is now worked it full. And Melvin gets the sign. And here's the payoff pitch. Runner takes off. Pitch is swung on and missed for strike 3. And Major Maiden, is down on strikes. We go to the bottom of the 7th. Rangers trailing at 12-10. Well, on to pitch for the Cougars is going to be Mason Hagel-Pitt, who moves to the mound from second base. I believe this is his first appearance as a pitcher for the Cougars. Filling in at second base for Hagel Pitt will now be Landry Ham. And Hagel Pitt will face Chase Gordon, Dylan Bradford, and Carson Wright. Chase Gordon today is 2 for 3 with a double and a single, and the first pitch to Chase is taken for a ball, and the count is 1-0. Rangers trailing this one by a score of 12-10. The 1-0 pitch is taken high for a ball. The count moves to 2-0. The count. Here's the 2-0 pitch, and that's outside for a ball. The count moves to 3-0. So if Chase Gordon can get on base here, that will bring us back to the top of the Rangers lineup. 3-0 pitch, and that's over for a strike. Count moves to 3-1. The Rangers have worked 4 walks in this game. The 3-1 pitch to Chase Gordon is looked at for a strike. The count moves to 3-2. 12 runs on 13 hits for the Cougars. The payoff pitch swung on and missed for strike 3. So Chase Gordon goes down on strikes. It's only the 3rd Rangers strikeout in this game. And that'll bring to the plate Dylan Bradford. Bradford today is 1 for 2. He has walked, he has singled, he's been hit by a pitch. And so he's been on base 3 times. The Rangers trailing this one by 2 in the bottom of the 7th, in need of base runners. Bradford's first pitch swinging, that'll get through for a base hit. And so Bradford had his second hit of the game. That'll bring to the plate Carson Wright. Carson Wright in this game is 1 for 4 with a single. Carson also picked up an RBI earlier in this game, back in the 3rd inning, part of that Ranger 8-run explosion. Here's the pitch to Carson Wright. And Wright, his first pitch swinging, he fouls that one off. Count is 0-1 to the Rangers left fielder. The Rangers all-GAC left fielder. Hitting with the Rangers all-GAC first baseman, Dylan Bradford, on first. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be outside and low for a ball. And the count moves to 1-1. Hagel Pitt gets the sign from Nathan Owens. Here's the pitch. And that ball's going to be well hit to left field, or right field. Valentine is there, and he makes the catch, and that's the second out of the inning. That one looked like that might have a chance off the bat, but just kind of died in the air there, and there's the second out of the inning. So that'll bring Hagen Barcelo to the plate. Hagen today's 2 for 4. He has doubled and singled. Here's the first pitch to Barcelo, and that's going to be low for a ball. Count is 1-0. See if Coach Bowen wants to do something with Dylan Bradford at first, who did steal 13 bases last year. Here's the 1-0 pitch, and that's outside for a ball. Count moves to 2-0. Porter Pittman in the on-deck circle for the Rangers. Defensive replacement for Paul Sachin in the last inning. Two 2-0 the count, 2 outs, bottom of the 7th. 2-0 pitch is fouled off. And the count moves to 1-2, or 2-1, I should say. 2-1 the count. Rangers trying to put something together here in the bottom of the 7th. Here's the 2-1 pitch. That ball's going to be sent into left field. That's going to get through for a base hit. Hagen Barcelo with hit number 3 today. Dylan Bradford moves to second. And that'll bring to the plate Porter Pittman. So Pittman here with a chance to hit with runners in scoring position, or a runner in scoring position anyway. Pittman with his first at bat for the new season. 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th. Rangers now with their 13th hit. They've got 10 runs. Cougars, unfortunately, have 13 runs. Here's the first pitch to Pittman, and that hit him. So Porter Pittman takes first, and now the bases are loaded for Chad Green. Chad Green today is 2 for 3. He has homered, he has doubled, he has walked. And he has a chance for the second day in a row to come up with a key hit, possibly change or alter this game. Here's the first pitch to Green. That's outside for a ball, and it's 1-0. Trevor Sayre in the on-deck circle for the Rangers. Hagel Pitt checks the sign. Here's the 1-0 pitch. And that's over the outside corner for a strike. Count moves to 1-1. So 1-1 the count. Dylan Bradford at third, Hagen Barcelo at second, Porter Pittman at first. 2 outs, bottom of the 7th. Rangers trailing it by a score of 12-10. Here's the pitch, and that's outside for a ball. And that'll move the count to 2-1. Rangers trying to start the year off with back-to-back wins after their come-from-behind win last night. Here's the pitch, and that's inside for a ball. So it's 3-1. Chad Green looking to add to his RBI total on the day. He's got 3 RBIs today. Picked up an RBI yesterday. Here's the pitch, and that's over for a strike. And that'll move the count full to 3-2. So can Chad Green come up with the key hit here? 3-2 the count. Bases full of Rangers. Bottom of the 7th. 2 out. Trailing at 12-10. Here's the pitch. Runners take off. That ball's hit to third. That's going to get through for a base hit. 1 run scores. Here comes Barcelo. He will score. Porter Pittman to third, and he is safe. So Chad Green comes up with 2 more RBIs, and the Rangers have tied the game. It's kind of a hard-hit grounder. And 2 Rangers come home to score. Connor Lang over there at third couldn't come up with the ball. And we're tied 12-12. Trevor Sayre to the plate. Trevor today is 0 for 3, but he has drawn a walk. And here's the first pitch to Sayre. That's going to be chopped to third. Lang up with it. Fires to first, and there's the third out. So Trevor Sayre's retired 5-3, but the Rangers get 2. We go to the top of the 8th. We're tied 12-12. So Caleb Melvin manages to retire Aiden Welsh. That'll bring to the plate Nathan Owens. Owens today is 0 for 3. He has struck out twice. He has walked. And he lined out to right fielder Paul Sachin. Rangers now have tied this game up. We're 12-12 in the top of the 8th. There's now one out. Caleb Melvin in for his second inning of work. Here's the first pitch to Nathan Owens, and that's low and outside for a ball. The count is now 1-0. Want to know the count? Here's the pitch, and that ball's going to be lifted to center field. Trevor Sayre is there, makes the catch, and there's two down. So Zach Valentine comes to the plate. He is 1 for 3 today. He is reached by an error. He's got a sacrifice bunt, hit into a fielder's choice, and doubled. Here's the first pitch from Melvin. Valentine first pitch swinging, fouls it off. The count is 0-1. Rangers will send Harley Schaefer, Colby Grace, and Chase Gordon to the plate in the bottom of the 8th. 0-1 the count here to Zach Valentine. And the 0-1 pitch is over for a strike. The count moves to 0-2. Ranger pitchers have struck out 8 Cougars today. Kyle Hosier with 5 of those strikeouts. Here's the pitch, and that's outside for a ball. And the count moves to 1-2. Gavin Acosta in the on-deck circle for the Cougars. 1-2 the count to Valentine. Here's the pitch, and that ball's going to be chopped foul. The count's going to hold at 1-2. Will Cates set to get the starting pitcher job in the second game of our doubleheader. Start about 30 minutes or so after the end of this game. Here's the pitch. Oh, goodness. Well, that's a ball, so that'll move the count to 2-2. So 2-2 the count. Nobody on, 2 outs in the top of the 8th. Rangers looking for the first 1-2-3 inning of the game. That pitch is inside for a ball, and that'll move the count to 3-2. Rangers with a right-hander warming up in their bullpen. Cougars have a little bit of activity going on in their bullpen. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed for strike 3. So Caleb Melvin retires him 1-2-3 in the 8th. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Our score is tied 12-12. Harley Schaefer set to lead us off here in the bottom of the 8th. He'll be followed by Colby Grace and Chase Gordon. Schaefer in this game is 1 for 3. He has struck out, been hit by a pitch, and tripled. And he'll face Mason Hagel-Pitt, who's on for his second inning of work. Here's the first pitch to Schaefer. Schaefer's first pitch swinging. He gets around on that one, but that's going to go foul. That's a very loud strike 1 for the Rangers shortstop. So 0-1 the count. 12 runs on 13 hits for the Cougars. Here's the pitch. And the 0-1 pitch is taken for a ball. The count moves to 1-1. 12 runs, 13 hits for Colorado Christian. 12 runs, 14 hits for the Rangers. 1-1 the count here to Harley Schaefer. And Schaefer fouls that one off at the plate. The count moves to 1-2. So 1-2 the count. Here's the pitch. And that's outside for a ball. The count moves to 2-2. Colby Grace in the on-deck circle for the Rangers. As the Rangers try for the second day in a row to have late season heroics. 2-2 pitch is inside and low for a ball. That'll move the count to 3-2. Colby Grace, of course, with the big hit last night for the Rangers. 3-2 the count here. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed for strike 3. So that'll bring to the plate Colby Grace. Grace today is 0 for 3. He has walked out. He's walked out. He's walked and he's grounded out twice. Popped up in his first at bat. 1 out in the bottom of the 8th. Score tied 12-12. Colby Grace at the plate. First pitch to Grace is taken for a strike. And the count is 0-1. Chase Gordon in the on-deck circle for the Rangers. Hagel Pitt gets the sign. Here's the pitch, and that's inside for a ball. Nope, it hit him. So Colby Grace takes first base. And Chase Gordon steps up to the plate. Chase today is 2 for 4. He has doubled and he has singled. He does have an RBI. Here's the first pitch from Hagel Pitt to Chase Gordon. That's taken for strike 1. Rangers have 6 extra base hits today. 1 home run. Colby Grace around a bunt, fouls it off. And the count will move to 0-2. So 0-2 the count. One out, bottom of the 8th. Colby Grace at first after he was hit by a pitch. Here's the pitch. And Chase Gordon is going to lift that one to left field. Rangel is there and makes the catch. And there's the second out of the 8th inning. Colby Grace will go back to first. And that'll bring Dylan Bradford to the plate. Dylan today has 2 hits. He's been hit by a pitch. He's walked. Officially, he's 2 for 3. But he's been on base 4 times. Be a good time for number 5. Here's the pitch. And that's taken for strike 1. Carson Wright in the on-deck circle for the Rangers. Oh, 0-1 the count to Dylan Bradford. Here's the pitch, and that's outside for a ball. And the count moves to 1-1. One and one the count. 2 outs, bottom of the 8th. Colby Grace at first. Here's the pitch. And I think that hit Dylan Bradford. It certainly did. So Dylan Bradford will take first base. And Colby Grace will move to second. That will bring to the plate Carson Wright. Carson today is 1 for 5. He is singled. And he does have an RBI. Carson Wright, one of the team leaders in home runs last year. This would be a good time, obviously, for home run number 1 this year. Here's the first pitch to Carson. That's going to be taken high for a ball. The count is 1-0. 1-0 the count. Hagel Pitt on the mound for the Cougars. Here's the 1-0 pitch, and that's going to be fouled off. Count moves to 1-1. Colorado Christian, 1 run in the third, 3 in the fourth, 5 in the fifth, 2 in the sixth, 1 in the seventh. For the Rangers, 8 runs in the third, 2 in the sixth, 2 in the seventh. Add it all up, and it's 12-12. 1-1 the count to Carson Wright. Runners at first and second, 2 outs, bottom of the eighth, and a tied ball game. Here's Hagel Pitt with the pitch, and that's going to get away from Nathan Owens. Runners are going to advance as the throw to third is not in time. Meanwhile, the count moves to 2-1. Now the Rangers have runners on second and third. The pitch was low and outside. Nathan Owens couldn't gather it, and the Rangers advance. The 2-1 pitch is inside for a ball. That's going to move the count to 3-1. If Carson Wright gets aboard here, Hagen Barcelo will bat next for the Rangers. And Hagen's got 3 hits today. 3-1 the count. Carson Wright also, I believe, the team leader in walks last year. Here's the 3-1 pitch. And that's over for a strike. So 3-2. Runners at second and third, 2 outs, bottom of the eighth. Rangers and Cougars tied 12-12 in this first game of our doubleheader. Hagel Pitt gets the sign, checks the runner at second. And here's the payoff pitch. And Carson Wright's going to foul that one off. Coach Bowen diving for his life, showing tremendous cat-like reflexes over there. And the count holds at 3-2. Here's the payoff pitch. And that ball is going to be fouled off. And the count's going to hold at 3-2. Carson Wright fouled off the last 2 pitches. About to see pitch number 8 in the at-bat. Here's the 3-2 pitch. And that's ball 4. So Carson Wright works the walk, and that'll bring to the plate Hagen Barcelo. Barcelo today is 3 for 5. He has singled twice and doubled. And that will bring a visit to the pitcher's mound, and we're going to have a change. We'll tell you who it is when we come back. On the pitch for the Cougars is going to be number 19, Dylan Dahlgren. Dahlgren, a 6-foot junior right-hander out of Brighton, Colorado, making his first appearance for Colorado Christian. And he will face Hagen Barcelo with the bases loaded and 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th in a tied ball game. Hagen Barcelo can extend the inning. Porter Pittman would bat next for the Rangers. So Dylan Dahlgren on to face the Rangers' second baseman. And here's the pitch. And that's taken for a strike. Count is 0-1. Dahlgren with a little bit of a deceptive delivery. 0-1 the count. Here's the 0-1 pitch. And that's low for a ball. Count moves to 1-1. Gavin Acosta, Connor Lang, and Lucas Heinze set to face Ranger pitchers in the top of the 9th. Here the count is 1-1 to Hagen Barcelo. The pitch is driven to left field. It's going back. It's out of here. Hagen Barcelo, touch 'em all. Rangers with a bottom of the 8th grand slam. And they'll take the lead by a score of 16-12 as Hagen Barcelo comes up with the big hit. And the Rangers get their second home run of the day. Hagen Barcelo does the honors. So that'll push the Rangers' lead now to 16-12. Porter Pittman comes to the plate. Porter does not have an official at bat in this game as he was hit by a pitch in his first at bat. You just kind of felt like, especially with a hitter like Hagen Barcelo with the wind blowing the way that it is today, that it was a matter of time before he got a hold of one. He comes through in the clutch for the Rangers there, clearing the bases. Pushing the Rangers back to a 4-run lead. Here's the first pitch to Porter Pittman. And Porter Pittman takes ball 1. So for the Rangers today, 4 doubles, a triple, and 2 home runs. Here's the pitch to Pittman. That's going to be fouled off. And the count moves to 1-1. Rangers have left 9 on base, but you certainly won't complain about 16 runs. 1-1 the count, and here's the pitch, and that's outside for ball 2. If Porter Pittman can extend the inning, Chad Green would bat next for the Rangers. Of course, Chad Green's had himself quite a day. He's got 2 hits and 3 RBIs. Here's the pitch to Pittman, and that's going to be fouled off. And that'll move the count to 2-2. So 2-2 the count, nobody on, 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th. Rangers with 4 runs here in this inning now lead this one by a score of 16-12. Here's Dahlgren with the 2-2 pitch. That's low and outside for a ball. And that'll push the count to 3-2. Cougars with a right-hander up in their bullpen. 3-2 the count, 2 outs. Dahlgren, the 6th pitcher today for the Cougars. Here's the payoff pitch, and that's low for a ball. So Porter Pittman takes first. That'll bring to the plate Chad Green. Chad today's 3 for 4. He's got 3 RBIs. He's got the other home run besides Barcelo's. And he has also doubled and walked. Nice day for the Rangers' designated hitter so far. The first pitch to Chad Green is inside for a ball. If Chad Green keeps the inning going, Trevor Sayre would be next up to bat for the Rangers. So 1-0 the count. Dahlgren fires over to first. Porter Pittman back safely. Here's Dahlgren with the 1-0 pitch, and that's low for a ball. That'll move the count to 2-0. Nice job there by Cougar catcher Nathan Owens to block that one. 2-0 the count, 2 outs, bottom of the 8th. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be chopped to third, but that's going to be foul. So that'll move the count to 2-1. Chad Green back into the batter's box. Here's the 2-1 pitch, and that ball is absolutely smoked to left field, but that's going to go foul, and that'll move the count to 2-2. Dahlgren firing over to first. Pittman back safely. 2-2 the count. Runner on first. Rangers have got 4 in this inning off the grand slam by Hagen Barcelo. Here's the pitch. And that's a called strike 3. So the Rangers fail to add on, but they do get 4. They lead this one by a score of 16-12. We're going to the 9th inning. On to pitch for the Rangers in the 9th inning is going to be Jacob Shaw. Shaw, a senior out of Hastings, Nebraska. Last year, in 21 appearances, he had a 3.41 ERA, had a record of 5-2, had 8 saves, pitched 29 innings, gave up 26 hits, 11 earned runs, walked 15, struck out 23, gave up 11 doubles, 3 home runs, and opponents hit 248 off of him. So he will try to come in and shut the door on this Cougars team in Game 1 of our doubleheader. He will face Gavin Acosta, Connor Lang, and Lucas Heinze. Also in for the Rangers at shortstop is Jacob Wiltshire. Wiltshire, of course, returning starter from last year. He's an all-gold glove member of the GAC conference. And the Rangers looking to seal their second straight late inning come from behind victory. Set the stage for Game 2 with Will Cates. So Gavin Acosta to the plate. He is 3 for 4 today. He has doubled, he has homered, and he has singled. And he struck out swinging in his last at bat. Here's the first pitch from Shaw. That's going to be hit sharply to the left field side. It's going to get through. And the Colorado Christian Cougars have a leadoff hit. So that'll bring Connor Lang to the plate. Lang has also had a good game as these 8 and 9 hitters for the Cougars have really stepped up in this game. He's gone 2 for 3. Connor Lang has. He's got 2 singles and a walk as the Cougars try to get some late game heroics of their own. Here's the pitch from Shaw. And laying his first pitch swinging, he's going to pop that one up to shallow center field. Trevor Sayers there, makes the catch. And there's the out. So that'll bring to the plate Lucas Heinze. Heinze today in this game is 1 for 5 with a single. He also reached by an error. Jacob Shaw with the first pitch to Heinze, and that's over for a strike. The count is 0-1. So 0-1 the count, runner on first, 1 out in the top of the ninth. Rangers leading it by a score of 16-12. Shaw checks the runner. Here's the pitch. That's going to be inside for a ball, and the count will move to 1-1. Shaw working very quickly as he typically does. 1-1 the count. Here's the pitch, and that's over for a strike. So 1-2 the count to Lucas Heinze. Gregory Rangel set to hit next for the Cougars. Jacob Shaw ahead in the count here to Lucas Heinze, 1-2. Here's the pitch, and that's just off the outside corner for a ball. The count will move to 2-2. 2-2 the count. The 2-2 pitch is fouled off. The count holds at 2-2. Jacob Shaw, fifth Ranger pitcher today. Caden Spray went 4 innings. Tapia didn't record an out. Holzer went 2 2/3. Melvin went 1 1/3. And that's led us to this. Jacob Shaw with the pitch. That's going to be fouled off. Count holds 2-2. Rangers looking to go 2-0 on the season for the second straight year. Two and two the count. Runner at first. 1 out in the ninth. Swing and a miss for strike 3. So Lucas Heinze is the 10th Cougar to strike out today. And there's your second out of the inning. That'll bring up Gregory Rangel. Rangel today is 2 for 5. Of course, he's one of the Cougar hitters with a home run in this one. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 1. Five home runs by Cougar hitters today, including 2 by Major Maiden. And the 0-1 pitch is taken for a strike. And the Cougars are down to their last strike. 0-2 is the count. Runner on first, top of the ninth. Rangers leading at 16-12. Jacob Shaw on the mound looking to shut the door here on the Cougars. Here's the 0-2 pitch. And he just missed that one. Count moves to 1-2. One and two the count. Here's the pitch. And that ball's going to be chopped foul. Count holds at 1-2. Jacob Shaw gets the sign. Here's the 1-2 pitch. And that gets away from Chase Gordon. Gavin Acosta will move to second. The count moves to 2-2. Now runner on second base, 2-2 the count, 2 outs in the top of the ninth. Rangers leading this one by 4. It's 16-12. Here's the pitch. Got him, strike 3. So for the second game in a row, the Rangers come back to win it. Today, the big hitter was Hagen Barcelo, or the big hit anyway, was Hagen Barcelo with a grand slam in the bottom of the 8th that broke open the 12-12 ball game. Rangers end up winning this one by a score of 16-12 We'll have game 2 of the doubleheader in about 30 minutes.